Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Clockwork Cantina. I am one of your hosts of the show, Josh Donatunis, the other host of the show.
DT3, what's going on, everybody? What's up? What's up?
What is up, guys? My NVIDIA broadcast is being dumb right now and keeps wigging out. I'm trying to fix it. I think we're good now. Hopefully, okay. How we doing out there, guys? We are on episode 145, DT. It's kind of
Yep.
crazy that we've gotten this far. 5 more episodes. We'll be at 150 and we'll be halfway to 300. That's nuts.
Dang, that's nuts for sure. Goddamn.
Yeah, so
Wild.
it's crazy. Um, yeah. So today's episode, we have the usual news and things like that going on. Um, and then in the second half of the show, we talking about a movie that we both
That we
watched
watched. Yep.
this past week.
Clicking on this,
So
then you
yeah,
know that it is about devotion.
it is. It is
So which we'll get to that.
indeed. DT, why don't you go ahead and start off by telling us what you've been up to this past week,
Sure.
my
I
friend?
have been watching a lot of movies still. Watching movies, playing games. Not so many games, but I still try to keep up with the stuff that I play, like Fortnite, and I try to hop on and just do my dailies at least every day, and then call it a day. But
Mm-hmm.
do that. I've been playing Assassin's Creed Rogue on stream, so that's been cool. I'm looking forward to playing more of that tomorrow. I got the videos going up on the YouTubes as well. Been keeping up with the Bad Batch. Uh, watched the third episode of that. That was cool. Watched the Willow finale, which I mean, that show is not the best, but I don't know. It's all right. It's okay. It was all right. Season 1 was okay. Like I could see like them continuing it, but then like if they were just like that's a one and done or we're not doing anymore, then I could see that kind of being like a place to end it as well. But yeah, it was all right. Nothing super crazy, but it's a fun it's a fun show. Um what else? Played some FIFA 23. Watched a bunch of movies and TV shows too. I watched not a lot of TV shows, but I watched a lot of TV. I finished Peaky Blinders the series. I was two seasons behind, 2 full seasons behind, season 5, season 6. The good thing is that they're only 6 episodes each, so it's easier to get through something when it's shorter like that. But I had been needing to finish that show because it's been out for a little bit now, and I finally got to watch it, and it was pretty damn good. I know they're coming out with a movie too, so I'm waiting on that now, whenever that is gonna be coming out. But yeah, that was a hell of a good show. Watched a bunch of movies, like I said. Watched The Descent. I watched from 2005. I watched Intergalactic, which was fucking awesome, animated Netflix thing by Kid Cudi. Really, really good. I watched the Redeem Team documentary, um, which was incredible. Um, made me made me shed it, made me cry a little bit sometimes too. It was
Yeah,
really
that's
good.
fair.
And then I finally watched Interstellar, which is a movie that I have been hearing about for years, and I know people have always been talking about that one. Um, so I finally watched it and got that out of the way. I watched the new Puss in Boots movie, which uh, honestly was kind of fun. I wasn't
I heard it's good.
expecting too much out of it. Yeah, it's a good fun movie, man. I definitely would recommend it. If you're just looking for like a fun time, it was enjoyable. And the voice cast is pretty good too,
Mm-hmm.
you know. I watched Clueless for the first time ever. Uh So now I understand some of the well, now I understand all of the you know, famous quotes and whatnot. I rewatched Rush Hour for the first time in like years. Holy shit, that movie is still hilarious. I fucking love that movie, dude. It is still just as funny and good as it was when the first time or however many other times, you know.
Hmm.
I watched Being John Malkovich for the first time. That's a weird ass movie, but I've seen weirder. I watched Dead Poet Society. I watched The Shining and Doctor Sleep, which I got some hot takes on those movies. I thought they were boring, dude. I'm just gonna be honest.
Have you never seen The
Eh,
Shining?
No, like not all the way
Wow,
through.
really?
I
Huh.
wasn't a fan though. I thought it was especially the second one, Doctor Sleep. My goodness, dude.
Put you to sleep.
That that movie,
I
it's
haven't seen
way
it.
too long. It's way too long. It is such a long ass movie, and it's so weird too, man. Yeah,
Doctor
Doctor
Sleep.
Sleep for sure, dude. But yeah, then I watched this other weird little movie from 1973 called Fantastic Planet. That was more my kind of weird because that definitely is a weird movie, but that one was more like I thought that one was better.
Oh, yes, I've heard of this. Yes, I think
Yeah.
Matt Colville has talked about that movie before.
So I finally
Uh,
watched that yesterday or a day before. I don't know one of these a couple days ago. I think it was yesterday. I watched it and
yeah,
I enjoyed it. It was cool.
I've heard of it.
Definitely
Yeah,
weird though. Definitely weird though. So you know,
yeah, I've
it's
seen
weird
parts of it.
stuff.
Definitely weird.
Yeah, but it was cool. Everybody, you know, got like D&D vibes and stuff. So I could see why he would watch something like that. And then of course, finally, yesterday was the premiere of the Last of Us TV show. I watched it. I checked it out, and I have to say, I really enjoyed it. It added a lot more that was not in the game. I feel like the first half hour of that episode was like not even in the game, like just stuff they added. But it was cool though. I liked it. I liked the little added stuff that they put into it. Um, Definitely looking forward to watching the rest of the series. I thought that first episode was a really good start. So, yeah, it was like an hour 20 long episode, and it didn't feel that long, at least to me. But yeah, that's pretty much been what I've been up to. I'm gonna, you know, try to keep it up here with watching some things. There's some other movies I want to watch and get to that I've heard about. So we're gonna definitely gonna be doing that over the next week, and you know, hopefully for the rest of the year. I'm trying to keep up the watch one movie a day thing for the rest of the year. So that's my goal for that. But anyway,
You're
that's what I've been up to. What
ahead
have
of
you
me
been up
by a
to,
mile.
Josh?
Um, I watched the newest episode of The Bad Batch, which I can't wait till we talk about that on the show because that episode was
Yeah.
particularly interesting for a lot of reasons.
Mhm.
Um, and then I've been playing WoW and stuff a little bit, but I'm gonna start toning that back down, shifting it down. I want to do some other things. Um, a lot of the stuff I've been doing is just kind of prepping for like a tabletop thing sometime soon. Like I've downloaded. I got a few books. I've also been just following the whole OGL thing that's been happening, which I don't think we're going to talk about really too much on the show because it's way complicated when you look at it. But if you guys have been into the tabletop stuff, it's everywhere. If you've seen it on Twitter, there's YouTube videos. Go check out the Legal Eagle video as well about all that stuff. But I've been following that, I guess, drama, but it's just complicated legal stuff. I find it fascinating, interesting to get everybody's takes on it and stuff like that. For those of you that haven't been following, it's just like uh, Wizards of the Coast is changing their open gaming license, or we're attempting to, and it's just a big complicated mess. And ultimately, what it's going to lead to is like it seems to be like a lot of game companies. They're just going to make their own game systems and be like, well, way to go, Wizards. Yeah, you kind of. I feel like they really shot
Fucked it
themselves
up.
in the foot. I feel like they really did. Like, I feel like if they had any goodwill, they kind of ruined it. Uh, Regardless of how it all shakes out, like just because of the way they handled it and stuff. So, you pissed everybody off. everybody that plays D&D, a lot of people that make third-party stuff, and it's just crazy. So if any of you are interested in that, go do your own research on it. We're not going to talk about it too much on the show because it's fucking complicated, and a lot of legal jargon. I also watched the first episode of The Last of Us because I'm sure we're going to do a show on it. I played the first game up to a point, not super far into it, so I knew everything that was happening in that first episode, which was shocking because I was like, wow, they really stuck to the game for the most part, and then they added a bunch of stuff in front of that, like DT said. I was like, I definitely don't remember that happening. It's pretty entertaining. I enjoyed the first episode. I thought it was good. Thought it was great. So I'm gonna keep watching that, obviously, because we'll be doing a show on it, I'm sure, in the future. And that's kind of like all I've really been up to. Not a whole lot from me, you know. There's a lot of things I want to do. A lot of things I'm doing just kind of at home. I'm trying to get kind of organized at home and stuff like that. I shaved the beard off. That's gone. I told you guys I was gonna shave it. It's gone. You got baby face Josh now. I'll start growing the scruff for my eventual heel turn. But I had to shave it. It was just annoying. It was just like you try to eat something, it wants to get between your lips, and it just feels like you have a hair in your mouth all the time. It's just terrible. Terrible feeling. I was like, you know what? Fuck this. I'm just shaving it. So, it wasn't immediately after the show last week. It was the next day because last week's show went on longer than I thought, and I just didn't have time to shave. So, but that next day, that next day, this shit was gone, dog. I couldn't stand it anymore. It was like, you had to get the fuck out of here, you know?
That preview show though usually goes on pretty long. This week should be, I think, shorter.
Yeah, we'll probably have a little shorter show, guys. The just since we're talking about the show, like I've always feel like the early part of the year is like the shows are shorter just because there's not a lot happening. We're still in that ramp up phase for the year, right? We're getting some shows, they're starting to come out. We'll start getting game announcements in a couple months of things. News will start dropping all over the place, you know, that kind of stuff. And then it happens like this every year. So the first half of our shows are usually like, it's a lot of movies because there's a lot of movies that we can watch and get caught up on and things we may have missed. And then as the shows kind of end, we'll be talking about those as well, that kind of stuff. I've been trying to get a handle on my anxiety because I'm somebody that has like issues with anxiety a lot of the time. So I've been doing some like just relaxing music. Like 30 minutes before the show, I was just like, let's just YouTube some relaxation music, not do anything for like 30 minutes and just listen to it, the eyes closed. It's kind of made me, I don't know if it actually helps or not, or if it's just me thinking that it helps, but it makes me feel a little better about like, because I'm somebody that the moment I hit, DT knows this, and we've said it on the show before, it's like the moments before I hit let's go live, it's like I am anxiety ridden a lot of the times. I'm just nervous, but once we're on, I'm fine, right? We've talked about this before. I'm trying to get a handle of that before that happens. So like I'm just trying to do some like relaxation music, trying to give myself a better focus as well, because I'm like, my brain goes in 6 different directions at all times, and it just leaves like a lot of unfinished work happening a lot. Like I just have a hard time focusing sometimes. So trying to get a handle on those things. New year, new me kind of deal, I guess, but not really. Just trying to get a hold of things that I consider are my issues and problems and things. So, yeah, that's kind of like all it's been, man. Just trying to get a handle on those things for the past week. I'm hoping now that I'm gonna start downshifting the WoW, I can start playing maybe some other games and talk about those on the show. I hope I can watch some. I don't think I'm gonna beat DT by any means, but I'd like to watch some more movies and stuff like he is and that stuff. So. DT, what do you say we hit into the game news, my friend, and get this show rolling for sure now?
All right, let's do it.
Let's hit it. First up, we have the gaming news. DT, what's going on in the world of gaming this past week and right now?
We're gonna start off with the Forza Horizon 5 creative director and 5 other Playground staff are starting a new studio to build a premium open world game. So 6 Playground employees, including the creative director of 2021's Forza Horizon 5, have left the studio to form their own. This new studio is called Maverick Games, and the team there is already working on a new premium open world game for consoles and PC, according to a Eurogamer report. The studio is not connected to Microsoft's Xbox umbrella of studios, but Horizon 5's creative director Mike Brown is leading Maverick and is joined by Playground's former lead producer Tom Butcher, who is the new studio's executive producer, former technical director Matt Craven, who is Maverick's chief technical officer, and former technical art director Gareth Harwood, who is now content director. And this is what they had to say about Eurogamer reports that Maverick has already secured significant seed funding and is now actively working on its new game, which will be the aforementioned open world game for consoles and PC. And this is what they had to say. Uh, this is what Brown had to say in a press release. Our goal is for Maverick Games to be a studio people will love. For players, we're already at work on an exciting, ultra high quality title. And for developers, we're building a home where everyone is encouraged to take risks, be curious, be creative, be innovative, be themselves, and above all, be a Maverick. So just some little news about a new studio opening up,
Cool.
forming from other people. I like the name too, Maverick Games. It's like
Yeah.
it's good. Play some uh play some Kenny Loggins there in the background, some Danger Zone. Good to go, man.
We will watch their careers with great interest. I wonder what they're working on. An open world game, but like what kind of game? Like what's it gonna be about? Like
Yeah.
curious,
See, we'll
curious.
see. Uh, we got some Ubi news. I know you love talking about Ubi, but we're gonna talk about them a little bit because they have been in the news this past week over some stuff that they've been doing. First and foremost, because they have canceled 3 unannounced games, and then guess what? Guess what? You're never gonna guess what the next thing I'm gonna say is. You're not gonna guess. We need a drum roll for this, man, because you're not gonna. You guys out there, if you know, you know, but if you don't know, maybe you might have guessed it. But Skull and Bones has been delayed again. Uh, so in a financial update, it was reported that Ubisoft has canceled 3 unannounced games, and as well as have delayed Skull and Bones for like the 15th time. The company cites major challenges in the industry, continues to shift towards mega brands and long-lasting titles that can reach players across the globe, uh, across platforms and business models. It says that over the last 4 years, its strategy has been about building long-lasting live games and adapting our strongest franchises, like Assassin's Creed, Far Cry, Tom Clancy games like Ghost Recon, Rainbow Six, and The Division, to converging trends to make them truly global brands. However, the games from this investment phase have yet to be released. Uh, while our most recent launches have not performed as well as expected, compounding this effect in the context of worsening macroeconomic conditions, the trends over the holiday season in particular, the last weeks of December and beginning of January have been markedly and surprisingly slower than expected. Uh, they said in a press release. Uh, This overall context has triggered a full review of our revenue prospects, leading to increased cautiousness over the coming years. Considering this, combined with the significant additional investments that resulted from lockdown and the new working patterns that have profound impact on productions across the industry over the past 3 years, Ubisoft is announcing today that a set of measures dedicated to strengthening its long-term growth and value creation prospects. Um. So yeah, this is, I believe, the fifth time Skull and Bones has been delayed as well, and it's now projected for release in early. Well, it says 2023 to 2024, but we'll see, right? Uh, Although there will be a beta phase for the game coming soon. Uh, and they were asked about why the game is being delayed again, and they said Ubisoft said the game needs more polish. The additional time has already paid off and brought impressive improvements to its quality, which has been confirmed by recent playtests. We believe the players will be positively surprised by its evolution. We've decided to postpone its release in order to have more time to showcase a much more polished and balanced experience to build awareness. So there you go. One last thing is that Ubisoft noted that it decreased its quarter 3 2022-2023 net bookings from roughly 892 million to about 779 million. Uh, and they also noted that big releases like Mario plus Rabbids Sparks of Hope and Just Dance 2023 performed lower than expected. So overall, Ubisoft is just
Look, man,
not in the best shape right now, right?
I think we're done with the dancing. I think the time for dancing is over. All right, and I feel like Mario Rabbids is cool and all, but it's like it's kind of niche. It's a little niche, isn't it? Like I feel like it is. It's very like limited in terms of how many players you would get to play that. I guess it's still underperformed. But I was just curious. I was like, when the fuck was Skull and Bones announced? So it was announced at E3 in
Forever ago.
2017.
Yeah,
2017.
forever
And
ago.
they've been working on it since like 2013. And it's like,
I mean,
bro, that's crazy to me.
that reminds me of speaking of Ubisoft, I'll bring that up real quick too, but they also claim that Beyond Good and Evil 2 is still in development, but you know when that game was announced for the first time? Like 15 years ago. So
Yeah.
that's another game that they've been working on for over a decade. That I don't know what they're doing with these games, man. Like, why does it take so long for these things to get made, bro?
Yeah.
Like, I don't.
It is weird. Like, and we were sitting here thinking, I was, or sorry, when we talked, I want to say at some point, maybe it was a couple shows ago, but as we were sitting here talking, you were talking about that article, I was like, what were all the Ubisoft games that came out last year? Because to be honest with you, I barely remember any other than the Mario Rabbids, which you just mentioned, which was last year, right? Like the new one.
Yeah.
And then the Just Dance. What else was there in 2022 that came from Ubi? Because I don't remember anything. Like I was googling, and it's just like, here's what's coming from Ubi in 2023, but that's not what I'm looking for. I'm
They
looking
had,
for 2022 releases.
They had that Rainbow Six game you loved, remember Extraction? That was like
Right,
another one of
which
their one
we
of
told them was a terrible idea, and they didn't listen.
that was that was another one of their big games last year. So yeah, I think it was that. I mean, Just Dance, like a lot of people love that game. So you know, it's not my thing, but a lot of people like that. So that's like their FIFA or their 2K, like that's like their sports game basically that comes out every year. They just change it up or whatever, right?
Yeah,
So that is always gonna have people that like it. So that makes sense. Tom Clancy Extraction, yeah, I don't know. That was kind of a weird one. Like I kind of like the idea of it, but I'm kind of like I don't know why that needed to be a Tom Clancy game, right? Like it could have just
yeah.
been anything.
I think what they managed to do there was just piss off people that like the Tom Clancy brand, because that doesn't feel like a Tom Clancy thing to me,
And
personally.
then yeah, and then like yeah, apart from Mario and Rabbids, I don't know what else, like what other major games they came out with.
So
Like did Go ahead.
what's going on at Ubi? That's what I want to. What's going on over there? Like, is it just mismanagement? Is it all the bad press? Are they trying to sell? Are they, or like, are they trying to tank the company? Like, it feels like Ubi's in trouble to me. Just based off this. Other than we know they got like a billion Assassin's Creeds in development that are going to be coming, right? Like, and don't get me wrong, I'm
Yeah.
looking forward to some of those, but it's like, it just feels fucking weird to me, this company right now. Ubisoft feels like it's in a weird spot, and I just don't know what's going on over there. Like, I really don't. They don't feel like they're doing well.
Oh, they had that Roller Champions game, but like, who the hell played that? I don't know anybody that played it, to be honest.
Yeah, I don't
I was
know.
just, well, yeah, while you were talking, I was like, what are some of the games? They honestly did not have like a good year last year. Like in terms of games, I don't. Besides the stuff we already mentioned, I don't see any other like big. You know, that's it.
Yeah, I don't. I have no clue what's going on over at Ubi right now.
We
They
do
feel
know
like
that they're
they've been in a bit of a
also,
slump,
yeah.
kind
Well,
of.
apart from those Assassin's Creed games that we mentioned, we do know that they're working on a Star Wars game too. Remember?
Yeah, and they're working on an Avatar game, the
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Pandora thing.
Right. I forgot that was them. I knew that was coming out, but I forgot that was them. But okay,
But
that
maybe
makes
they're not
sense.
in trouble. I don't know. It just feels weird, don't it? Like they're working on all these things for these big things. They're working on an Avatar thing. They're working on the Star Wars thing. You know, they've got a billion Assassin's Creeds in development. They just don't have anything like right now, I guess. But it
Yeah.
feels like it's weird for somebody like Ubi. They always have games out, even if they're not necessarily the best. Um, I don't know. It's a strange time
Yup. 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 Yup.
for the Ubis.
Exactly, Majin. Like you're like you hear the name, but you're like, but yeah,
I
they
guess we'll
just
see.
we shall see indeed.
All right. What's next on the gaming news, my friend?
We're gonna stick with Ubi and talk about some Assassin's Creed Mirage, which in an interview with Games Radar, uh, creative director Stefan Boudon said that uh, a convergence of several inputs helped shape the creation of Mirage. Uh, the first in their mind is the voice of the community. Origins, Odyssey, Valhalla. They're all great games with the promise to live an epic journey in a strong fantasy, he says. Um, Amongst our fans, we started hearing the desire for a character driven story focused on the core pillars of the first Assassin's Creeds in a more intimate scale. It resonates with us as well as developers. This was the starting point of the project. Mirage pays homage to the original Assassin's Creed in several ways. That more intimate scale was a necessity when Altair took his first shaky, free running steps. But Basim's story makes a more deliberate choice to embrace that scope. It's also set in a similar part of the world, returning to the Middle East via ninth century Baghdad rather than the Holy Land, and concerning itself directly with the Assassin's Order rather than the proto killers that the more recent games have dabbled with. So this year, Assassin's Creed is going back to their origins a little bit more with kind of more of their earlier games, making it more Assassin's Creed, like, more of an assassin character. Because I haven't played any of the new trilogy of games that they've done. They look awesome, and I wanna play them, and I can't wait to play them. That's why I'm currently playing, Rogue right now so that I can get to playing the newer ones, but I'm trying to catch up, right? So, I have heard, though, that the newer games, you're kinda, like, not really an assassin, though, you're just kinda like, you know, an assassin, but or, obviously it's an Assassin's Creed game, but, like, you're not really playing an assassin kinda, right?
Yeah, you're more like a. Depending on which one you're playing, you're more like here. You're a warrior, and you can kind of assassinate people. It's a totally different like type of deal. Um,
Yeah.
yeah,
Which that was cool because they tried something different, right? Because
yeah,
for a
and it
long
was
time,
nice for a change. Mhm.
people were complaining about, like, "Oh, it's too," uh, the thing that people complain about whenever there's, a game that comes out every year. Like, it's just,
Yeah,
a lot of the same, but with light changes. But no, I think this is a good change because, like,
no, I think so too.
like I said, I haven't played any of the newer games, but I already know that those are gonna be super long, and I don't know how long I'm gonna play those for, to be honest. Because, like, I like open world kinda games like that, but I just find myself, especially these days, like just not having the time or like, you know, wanting to explore everything anymore. Like it's just the I like super large open worlds like that, but to an extent. Like
Yeah.
this is why I say about like Starfield, like oh, they're gonna have like a thousand planets or whatever, and it's like, well, cool, but also not cool because who has the time to explore all that shit? And is like everything there going to be even like worth exploring or like what's the detail level? But anyway, that's a whole other thing for that game. But the point is, I think this is a good thing for Assassin's Creed that they're kind of going back to their origins. Yeah, not to be confused with Assassin's Creed origins, but they're going back to their franchise's origins and like a smaller, more intimate uh game where you actually play an assassin. I think this will be good, after having like three huge games where you're a Viking and you're in ancient Egypt and Greece, right? The three big mythologies right there.
They hit him with the Age of Mythology treatment. They gave you 3 games, each of them set in this particular
Yeah.
culture. No, I agree with you. Like sometimes you want like because I played Titanfall 2 not that long ago, right? Sometimes you just like that nice, tight, just a good story that's enjoyable, right? I
Yeah.
I like those newer Assassin's Creed games, but they are fucking long. There's so much to do, and I eventually fall off because they are so long. And it's like, oh, that's so much. And I'm also the type of person that's like, I have to do everything. That's how I feel in games. Is like I need to do
Yeah.
everything. I need to experience
Yeah.
everything. I need to uncover the whole map. I have to do all these boss fights. I have to go collect all these things,
Yeah,
or
I'm the
else I don't
same.
feel complete. And like, and it's like I just stopped playing the game instead of completing the game and completing all of that. Because if I can't complete all of that and complete the game, I just I take my ball and I go home, I guess. But it's I'm the same as you. I think this is good, like a little bit of a tighter story, a little bit smaller scale. Kind of going back to the OG Assassin's Creed, which I liked. I love the old school Assassin's Creed games. I was when they first originally showed the cinematic trailer for Altair and in the original Assassin's Creed, I was hyping in from even then, and I kind of got like, and I don't even feel like that old style would have gotten old if they weren't just throwing a game every fucking year. Like they push things at you until it's just so stale. It doesn't even have to be like you have to innovate all that much to make it better. It's that Ubisoft's whole business model is, all right, we nailed this. It's sold. Copy paste, do a few changes, throw it out there next year. Copy paste, make a few changes, throw it out there next year. I think that's kind of like what people kind of get sick of. If they had given it room to breathe over time, that wouldn't have happened as fast. It probably still would have happened, but it wouldn't have happened as fast. Um, but yeah, I think this will be nice, a nice little go back. All right, DT, what is next, my friend?
All right. We have I was talking about Starfield earlier. Speaking of them, let's talk about Bethesda because Xbox and Bethesda uh is going to be having a developer direct coming later this month. So Microsoft has announced the Xbox and Bethesda developer direct a new game showcase, providing fans with an inside look at some of the games coming to Xbox, PC, and Game Pass over the next few months. It will air on January 25th and feature Xbox studios like Arcane Austin, Mojang Studios, Turn 10 Studios, ZeniMax Online Studios. This developer direct will focus on big features, extended gameplay showcases, and the latest info for Xbox games launching in the next few months, including The Elder Scrolls Online, Forza Motorsport, Minecraft Legends, and Redfall. You might notice a big galaxy-sized absence in this lineup, Starfield. Xbox says that a standalone Starfield show is in the works to dedicate the proper amount of time for a deep dive into the game.
We got to make sure we get Todd Howard on camera for 2 hours to tell you everything you need to know about this game and not show you any of it.
That's kind of what it's been like so far, right?
Yeah, I know. That's what's killing me about this game. Like, I want to be excited, but they just. I can only get so excited looking at Todd Howard's face that much, my guy. Oh, man. It's crazy.
So yeah, that'll be a new showcase, kind of like how Nintendo has their directs and PlayStation has their state of plays and all that stuff. So
Oh, they show me
Xbox is
something
finally getting in on that.
that sells me on Redfall because I don't care about that game at the moment. Like, if you can give me something that gets me into it, that'd be cool. But so far, got a big nothing burger.
It will air on Wednesday, January 25th at 12 p.m. Pacific, 3 p.m. Eastern. So next week.
Exciting.
Next Wednesday. The last thing I got here, Josh, if you don't have anything else.
I do not currently.
Last thing I got here is we have a launch trailer for Dead Space. It's called Humanity Ends Here. So let's check this out because I am looking for the
Oh, God.
game, actually.
Sorry, it started auto playing. I am not capturing it for some reason. What the heck? 2 seconds, guys. Let me fix that. All right, we're good. Boom. Sorry about that. And we're good.
3, 2, 1, play.
Brace yourselves. It's gonna smash us into the hull.
I think it's me. It's all falling apart here.
Hey, Isaac. Coming? Where is everybody?
Give the man a hand.
This transformation, it's remarkable.
Damn.
Don't you want to be reunited with the people you lost? Our homecoming will be truly divine.
Look at all that shit, man.
There's still a way out for us. But we don't have much time.
Humanity Ends Here. They even got an extended gameplay walkthrough you can go check out. We're not going to watch it here, but if you want to check that out, definitely go over to their YouTube channel and watch that.
Over on YouTube. Yeah, that
looks
fun.
cool, man.
Yeah, that was cool.
It reminds me of because I never played the game, but just seeing that kind of reminds you of like an Alien Isolation, but one where you actually get to defend yourself with like guns and stuff. And obviously, there's no xenomorphs, but there's whatever the fuck else all that other stuff is. All that nastiness you got to deal with.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's a game I've been wanting to play for years, but then I saw that they were making a remake, and I'm like, well, just wait for that,
I'll just wait for the pretty version.
Exactly.
No, Majin. No! Get out of here with that. In the chat. That's it for the gaming news. I don't think there's anything anything else anywhere.
TV news is gonna be real quick because I only got 2 things. So
Alright, that's cool. Let's hit it. Swap it over.
We're gonna get through this real quick.
Alright. What's up first?
So the first thing we have here is that Paramount Plus has gotten the new D&D or Dungeons and Dragons TV series. They've landed the 8-episode series based on our role-playing game. Uh, Red Notice filmmaker Rawson Marshall Thurber wrote the pilot script and is set to direct the first episode. The series project has been in development for almost a year. Uh, E1 shopped the property to potential buyers beginning in November, with Paramount Plus winning out with its straight to series order. So we know there's a lot of news out there right now in terms of D&D, and not a lot of it is good, but TV show is gonna be on Paramount Plus whenever that comes out.
Yeah, be interesting. Need more details.
Yep. Not a whole lot out there right now. We know that they're working on a lot of stuff like the movie and which is coming out this year, and then they got all the shit they're dealing with right now. So
They're trying real hard to monetize the brand D&D, even though they already made tons of money off of it. But what ifs? It'll be interesting. I saw some people talking about how like they need to stop just naming things Dungeons and Dragons. Like, you know what I mean? Like we're gonna have a movie in a few months or whenever,
yeah.
and it's gonna be Dungeons and Dragons: Honor Among Thieves. It's like what they need to do is like do Dungeons and Dragons, and then boop, here's Honor Among Thieves. Here's I don't know, Sword of Kos. Here's the Merry Band of Slayers, whatever, like it should all, and now all those, it should all feed down into like, here's this franchise, here's this franchise, here's this franchise, instead of just trying to monetize and call everything Dungeons and Dragons. It's kind of weird, but that's what they see the money as, I guess. So they want to throw, here's Dungeons and Dragons, everything. Just some interesting side talk that I found interesting. What do we got next, DT?
The next thing is something that dropped actually earlier today. And it is a new poster for The Mandalorian Season 3. So there's a little tweet here that the official account put out. They gave us a poster and they're letting us know. There's a poster right there. Look at it. Pretty cool. We got Din and the baby Grogu right there. They also let us know that tonight during the NFL wildcard game, we're gonna be getting a new official trailer for season 3, which I am mighty excited about, and I will be reacting to. So keep an eye on that because I will be checking that out. And obviously, we're gonna put it in the news for next week, and we'll watch it here. But yeah, I'm definitely gonna be reacting to it tonight. So keep an eye out for that. Although by the time this goes up on YouTube, that video might already be up. So
True.
watch it if you haven't seen it. But yeah, it looks cool. Not really a whole lot to go off of, but it's just Din and Grogu, and they're flying off with this jetpack, and he's shooting something. They're looking
Yeah.
at something. But I'm excited because when I saw the first trailer back at Star Wars Celebration in May of last year, I've been hyped since, man. I've been hyped since then.
I'm pretty excited.
So I cannot wait to see what we're gonna see tonight, man. I'm very much looking forward to it. I'm very, very, very happy we're getting another trailer. But yeah, that'll do it for our TV news, man.
That's the TV news, ladies and gentlemen. It's over with.
It wasn't a lot today, man. It was or this week because there's just not a whole lot going on. I think
Beginning of
there's
the
been
year
like
troubles.
there's been like to be fair though, there's been like a lot of like award shows and stuff going on like the past week or so, and that's kind of been the majority of the news. And I just we could talk about that, but I'm just like I don't think we necessarily want to talk about that on here. But yeah.
Nah.
So we got a few things on our movie news. This week's news portion is gonna be over real soon because we just got 3 things over here. And then yeah. So the first thing
Okay.
we have is the trailer. Remember how last week we had a poster for Ant-Man letting us know there'd be a trailer at the, during the football game. Same thing this week, but for Mando. But last week we had a trailer for Ant-Man, and we're gonna go ahead and check that out. I've already seen it. I reacted to it. If you want to go check it out, my initial thoughts on it, it's on my YouTube channel. But let's check out this trailer here. Josh, did you watch this
I did. I
already?
watched it as it dropped because I was watching the game.
All right,
The football game.
cool. So let's check it out. Ready?
Yes.
3, 2, 1, go.
You're an interesting man, Scott Lang.
There's something in this trailer that I didn't notice until after I watched it, but then after I kind of went through it slowly, I noticed it right away.
But you've lost a lot of time, like me. We can help each other with that. Who are you? I'm the man who can give you the one thing you want. What's that? Time.
It can rewrite existence and shatter timelines. You cannot trust him.
I don't care who this guy is. I just lost so much. He can give us a second chance.
Let me make this easy for you. You will bring me what I need.
Quantum fucking realm looks nuts.
Everything you call a life will end.
This is all my fault.
You may not want her to watch this.
We had a deal.
Dude, this fight between these two is gonna be like, look at MODOK. Yeah, MODOK.
You thought you could win.
I don't have to win. We both just have to lose.
Scott got messed up.
I'm sorry, Cassie.
Looks pretty good, man. I think it
It
looks
is.
pretty good.
It is insane to me that Kang's first battle is gonna be with fucking Ant-Man, and I'm so hyped for it, dude. It is crazy to me. Oh, that looks so good. Oh, in that fucking line. It's I don't need to win. I just need us both to lose.
Yeah.
I'm excited as
Yeah,
fuck for this movie.
That shit looks amazing. Also, whoever edited this trailer either fucked up or I guess Marvel doesn't really care that we get to see MODOK's face without the mask on,
Yeah.
because like the 56-second mark, you can clearly see his face. Clearly.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah. But yeah, this movie looks cool, man. Jonathan Majors is gonna kill it as Kang, and I want to see fucking Kang versus Lang, bro. Let's get it on. That's gonna be a hell of a fight, dude. When he stomps on him and the helmet's got the crack over it, I'm like, oh shit, this is gonna be bonkers, man.
The other thing is Kang looks like he's taking some battle damage in that fucking shot too. Who's
That's true, yeah.
Kang's hi shit. Is Scott really able to do some damage to him, or what's going on here? I'm curious to that stuff as well. Oh, I'm so excited.
Yeah, it's gonna be That's gonna be very, very. I don't. For some reason, I don't feel like this movie is getting as much hype as it should be. Like, I don't know. I like for starters, we're getting Kang properly in the movie, right? Like, we saw him as He Who Remains and Loki, but it wasn't like actually Kang. And then this is the start of Phase 5, so it's gonna be big, man.
The other, well, the
I
thing
definitely
is,
want to watch this.
DT is like, we're like fans, right? Like we follow all this Marvel stuff and stuff like that, so we get hyped, right? And the vast majority of people that we surround ourselves with are also like that, so we see them get hyped. But like, I don't know how much the general audience is like, Kang. Who the fuck's Kang? What's Loki? I didn't watch Loki. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know this character, so maybe that's why there's not as much hype around it. I don't know, but fucking, I'm hype as shit for it.
That's the thing, though. I don't even mean the general audience. I mean like people who are into these movies.
I've seen people into these movies that are hype. Maybe it's just who we're seeing. I don't know.
I guess I just haven't seen enough like hype around people who I think would be hyped for it.
I think people sleep on Ant-Man. That's what I think it is. And I've been on that train since the beginning. I like Ant-Man. All right. Scored high on my list. High marks. I don't know. Well, I'm fucking hyped. I hope other people get hyped too. Did you think anybody died? Who dies in this movie, DT? Who's dying? Tell me.
In this movie, shit, I don't know. I feel like they're showing Scott getting hurt too much in this trailer. So I don't think it's gonna be him. Like I think that'd be they're not gonna do that. So I don't think it's gonna be him.
Hmm.
But somebody's gonna die. I don't. Maybe Hank. Maybe Hank
Yeah,
or
I could see Hank.
I want to say either Hank or Janet. One of or both maybe. I don't know. Yeah, one of Hope's parents. I think maybe either Hank or Janet. That's if I had to guess, maybe them. I don't think like Scott or like any of the main characters, but I could see like I said, Hank or Janet maybe fighting it.
Do you think MODOK is like meant to be a surprise, and that's why we don't see him a whole lot in this trailer?
I mean, that's what I'm saying. If he is meant to be a surprise, somebody who edited this trailer fucked up because we clearly see who he is.
We're definitely gonna see MODOK a lot more than just like a one-off kind of. He's in the background because we see him in battle armor or battle head armor, I guess. Battle helmet.
I hope that they don't just bring him in and kill him off in one movie.
That's what I'm afraid of. That's what I'm like afraid of.
I would like to see MODOK appear in other stuff, but with Marvel, you don't know, man. Because with Marvel, the strength has always been the hero characters, right? As opposed to the villains. I mean, they do have some strong villains, especially more recently, like with Namor and Thanos and obviously there's Loki and stuff, but like then you have other villains like Malekith and fucking, Ronan the Accuser and stuff that are like, who cares, right? But yeah, I hope they don't kill off MODOK right away. He'd be cool to see come back in the future.
I agree.
But I don't know. We're just gonna have to wait and see, I guess.
Well, I can't wait to see that movie. It's one of those. I'm gonna try to go opening, day to see because I'm a big fan of Ant-Man. Probably more than the average person.
I want to go. I'm definitely gonna try to watch that one because I haven't watched any of the other Ant-Mans in the theater, but I want to try to watch this one for sure.
Yeah.
There was a good while there. Yeah,
it's
exactly.
Crazy.
There was a good while there that I didn't go to the theater and watch stuff because it's just movie theaters expensive, man.
They're expensive, and it's like there for a little bit. I was going like every week seeing something, and then there was like a dry spell where it was like I don't know if I want to see anything right now. There was like a lot I just didn't want to see either. Um, but I definitely, this will probably be the first movie theater visit for me in the new year, I guess.
Hopefully for me it will be as well because I do want to watch it, but we'll see. We shall see. But anyway, that's all I got for Ant-Man. We can move on to the next thing.
Sure, let's hit it. What's next?
Next thing we have director Matt Reeves talking about the Batman and how he is reportedly deep into writing the sequel. He says, "We are working on a movie. I'll put it to you that way. We are deep in it, and my partner and I are writing. Mattson Tomlin and I are writing, and it's really exciting, and I'm really excited about what we're doing." So, yeah, that's cool. The Batman was my favorite movie of, I guess, last year, right? It came out last year.
Yeah,
Yeah, it came
last
out
year.
last year.
It was early, right? It was an early last year
Yeah,
movie.
yeah, it was like March or something, but I
It
I
was
kind of
good.
lost I
I
kind of
liked it a
lost
lot.
track of time because it was supposed to come out in 2021, but then they moved it to 2022, and then it came out. And, yeah, anyway, but yeah, it was my favorite movie of last year. I really, really, really liked it. Definitely more than other people, for sure. I rewatched that movie so much when it came out, like on HBO Max and stuff, because
Hmm.
I watched the hell out of it. But I really enjoyed it, so I can't wait to see what
It was good.
they do with the sequel. I know we talked about in the past, like what villains we'd like to see for the second one, and man, I don't know. There's the potential is exciting, but I definitely want to see what they do with it, because I thought they did such a fantastic job with the first one. So I'm excited.
Yeah, I enjoyed that movie a lot. Uh, and enjoyed it quite a bit. And I feel like most people I saw liked it at the very least. I was watching a YouTube video the other day, and the person in the video hated it. I was like, what? And then they went off on this long list of reasons on why they hated it, and I was like, you listed everything I liked about that movie for the reasons you hated it. I think you're wrong, sir. Anyway, the Batman was great, and I'm excited for a sequel. And there's God, I'm just sitting here thinking about all the villain potential. But I don't want to speculate on it. We'll see it when it comes along. What do we got next, DT?
Yeah, we definitely talked when we did the episode on that. We definitely
Yeah,
talked about it. So
we've talked that stuff.
if you want to hear our thoughts about all that stuff, go watch the Batman episode we did last year. Last thing we got here is we got William H. Macy joining the cast of Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes 20th century. It's unknown who he'll be playing, but he is joining the movie and this series uh, for one of 20th Century Studios' most popular and enduring franchises. Um, yeah, I mean that's cool. Uh, there's been like a little bit of news about this movie over the past few months, so looks like I think it's curious that they say he rounds out the cast because I don't even know who else is in this movie. Like I know we've talked about like some other cast members, but at the same time, I feel like there wasn't enough for me to be like or for, to say that he's rounding it out. But we do know that Freya Allen is in it. She plays I think Siri in the Witcher show. So she's gonna be in the movie. Um oh yeah, Kevin Durand was in it as well. And then I don't remember other names, but yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking. I'm like, I don't really recognize a lot of these folks.
Oh, Eka Darville. Yeah, he was dude from Jessica Jones. Yeah,
Um,
I recognize.
I'll say it. I'm a little Planet of the Apes out, to be honest. I'm a little sick of Planet of the Apes, and I say that as a fan of Planet of the Apes. I'm a little sick of Planet of the Apes right now.
I'm curious with what they're gonna do with these because I wasn't the biggest fan of that last trilogy. I think I like the second one the most. but I didn't really like those movies as much as everybody. I think they're kind of a little overrated to be honest. In terms of like trilogies, people always talk about like some of the best trilogies in like recent years or whatever. They always put the Apes trilogy up there, and I'm like, I don't see it. Like I only really like the second one, and the other two were kind of just like whatever to me. But I'm like intrigued with like the potential of a new movie, but I'm not like definitely not excited or like you know anything like that. I'm like curious about what they're gonna do. Like how different are they gonna make it from the other ones that we've seen, or how similar are they gonna make it to the ones that we've seen? That's gonna kind of really determine like where I sway. Probably
Mhm.
until I see a trailer is when I'll get a better idea. But yeah, but there we have it. That is our news for this week.
That is the news, ladies and gentlemen. Um, yeah, I guess we could take a quick break. I don't need a super long one, but I do need to get up a second. Um, and we'll come back and we'll talk about our main topic, I guess. Devotion. For a little bit. And yeah, we'll be right back after this, guys. I'll put some music on for you guys, run some ads on the break. YouTube, this will be instantly for you. We'll be right back after this, ladies and gentlemen. Oh god, be right back sign. There we go. Ah. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. We are back from our break. Hope you enjoyed your break as well. We're going to move into the second half of the show, which is we watched a movie this past week.
Sure
DT and
did.
I did. Called Devotion. It came out at the end of last year, I think around November. But let's get into that film.
Let's do it.
Shall we, DT? DT, to start us off,
Yes.
did you like the movie?
I did like it. I typically do like these kind of movies, but at the same time, it's like I say that, but then we have other movies like Pearl Harbor that are kind of like this too, and it's like I don't know about that one. But no, I did like this one. Yeah, it was cool. I liked both Jonathan Majors and Glenn Powell as well in this movie too. So
Yeah, they are
so
the
how'd
two
you feel about
stars.
it?
I enjoyed it quite a bit. It was less actiony than I thought it was going to be. It was much more,
Yeah.
I guess drama-y. I don't really consider it like drama-y, but it was like we're following these characters and they're going about everything going on. So that type of movie.
It's like action drama.
Yeah. When there is action, the action is good. I just was expecting more action. That's not a bad thing. Just I was expecting one thing and got another. That's all.
Yeah. I didn't mind it though, because I thought it was like
Mhm.
by the time we got to the action, I was like, oh shit, that's right. We are gonna like see some some air stuff, But up until that point, I was just kind of enjoying the story for what it was, and just
Yeah.
following Jesse and and his wingman, and Jesse with his lady and their daughter and all that stuff, man. Like it was, yeah, I was liking it, man. It was enjoyable for sure. Um, so I didn't even mind the the actual war uh stuff from it, the actiony war stuff. So
Yeah.
um, yeah.
Um. Let me give the synopsis to the chat here. That's what I was trying to get for you guys. The movie is the inspirational true story of Jesse Brown, the first black aviator in U.S. Navy history, and his enduring friendship with his fellow fighter pilot Tom Hudner, helping to turn the tide in the most brutal battle in the Korean War. The heroic sacrifices ultimately make the Navy's most celebrated wingmen. Yeah, because this movie is based on true story, real people.
Yes.
And there's a part at the end that I was like, nah, surely that didn't happen. I'm pretty sure they're just adding this in here for drama. And then I looked it up afterwards and I was like, holy shit, that actually happened. Which we can talk about at the end when we get there if you want to. I don't know how much we want to spoil it or anything like that. We can.
No, I mean we
for
might
movies
as well.
we can.
I mean, yeah.
Look, it's based on real life, so I mean, like.
Yeah, and if you're watching this, then you probably already watched the movie, so
True.
it's fine.
Uh,
or listening to it rather. Anyway, same difference. But yeah, yeah. I also didn't know who else was gonna be in this cast, apart from the two main characters. You know,
yeah.
which is not to say that I mean I didn't really recognize a whole lot of people, but there were some here and there. You know, like I didn't know fucking Joe Jonas was gonna be in this movie. I was like, what the hell when I saw him?
I'll be honest with you. I was like, oh, it's just a Jonas. I didn't know which one. I didn't even know which character he was, to be honest with you, because I don't know those guys. Until like the credits come up and it's like, oh, this is Joe Jonas was that character. That's cool.
Yeah, he was one of the dudes, and then like fucking they had Elizabeth Taylor show up in the movie,
Mm-hmm.
and she was played by um the same lady who played uh Medusa in Inhumans, which I mean is not saying a lot if you're in Inhumans, but like that's kind of where like I recognize her from because
Mm-hmm.
I was like I recognize this lady from somewhere. I couldn't remember from where, but of course I had seen Inhumans, and I mean that show's not great, but yeah, I was like, oh, that's where I know her from. Makes sense. But I thought she was good as Elizabeth Taylor too, though. Yeah, just it's like seeing them in like France and like Glenn Powell like trying to go for the lady, and then like he
Yeah.
sees like Jesse getting into some shit, and he's like, yo, I'm gonna go back up my boy. But then like also in the middle of that, you have the whole thing of like Jesse not wanting to be saved either, because he's like, yo, I'm a man, I can handle my own stuff too. I've been doing this for a lot longer than I've known you, buddy. Like, you know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? So there's all of that going on at the same time, and then like again the whole family aspect of Jesse and his wife and his daughter and all that, which all that was pretty cute too, and whatnot. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. There was something that you said like in reference to like the end of the movie. Once we got to like the end and they were like talking about like some of the real life facts, I was like, no way on this one thing that I could not believe. But yeah, I guess we'll get to that when we get to that. But I just wanted to bring that up again because you brought that up
Yeah.
briefly. Um, but yeah, what are some of your favorite things in this movie? Like maybe like a scene or like I feel like for me personally, the music wasn't really like that big of a thing, but I mean in certain moments it was pretty nice. But yeah, is there anything like like super like memorable or stand out-ish or that's not a word that stood out, like for you or anything you
the
liked in
the things
particular?
that get to me, the things that I noticed in this movie is just like uh how emotional Jonathan Major's performance is. Like he cries on cue at sometimes, not on cue, but like when it would make sense for his character to have like. And Glenn Powell does too in a few scenes. I was like, this movie is really like emotional, and like these guys are really like giving it their all in these roles. Like,
Yeah.
like you can tell sometimes when people phone it in. But those guys weren't phoning it in those emotional moments that happened during the course of this film. So that kind of stood out to me.
Yeah.
One of my favorite moments is when Jesse, like, they're going to the casino, right? And they're going to go in, and he starts speaking French to, like, stick it to that fucking asshole at the door. Like, fuck that guy.
And they're like, yo, we don't know you could speak French. Like, yo,
Yeah.
what the
I
hell?
picked it up
Yeah,
in high school.
that was cool for sure. Yeah, that was a great moment. Yeah, because then before that, he's like, yo, we got invited by like what like by I got invited by Elizabeth Taylor, and they're like, yo, bet like what you mean like
We don't believe you.
yeah. He's like, you damn right I did. He's like, dress up, boys, because we going out to a casino.
Put on your
So that
finest.
yeah, that whole thing was cool, man. I like that for sure.
I do love when he just walks up to Elizabeth Taylor and she turns around and she's like, you made it, like, and the guys are all like, oh shit. Like, I
Yeah.
love that part. Like, yeah.
Like,
They
yo,
did.
he really wasn't lying. What the hell? Yeah, that kind of stuff was really really good. Just little moments like that. Like again, not even. That's why I didn't mind that there wasn't as much action in the movie,
Hmm.
because like just stuff like that I thought was like really like
Some good character
just
moments.
just yeah, just really really cool stuff, man. Like little instances of things like that that happened that was just like yeah, this movie doesn't need as much action. Like sure, I like that kind of stuff and it's nice to
Yeah.
see, but it didn't need to happen like all the time. And like I said, I was watching the movie and like I know that we're gonna see that at some point, but I wasn't like waiting on it. I was just like enjoying the story for what it was and following these characters around and just like just going on the journey with them, man. Like it wasn't like I was waiting on the flight scenes to happen. I was just like enjoying the movie for what it was, which I think is a good thing because
Hmm.
it could have been a case of like, man, this drama stuff that's going on right now is boring or not working. But I felt like for me, it was the opposite effect. Like I thought it worked really well, and I was like engaged, and I was like invested in Jesse and his family and all that good stuff. And yeah, I was on board with it, man. I was about it. So I definitely enjoyed that aspect of it. And then it was cool just seeing the relationship of Jesse and Tom too. Like these two guys that are newly uh you know new wingmen basically, right?
Hmm.
That we see them meet each other and kind of become like more than just wingmen, kind of more like bros and stuff.
Yeah.
And it was cool, man. I like that. It was good stuff.
One of the moments early in the movie when he invites him into the house and Daisy, Jesse's wife, is like, he trusts you because he's only ever invited like two people in his house. It's you and
Yeah.
Bill Coing, the other one of the other pilots. Which if not a knock or anything, but I was like, I really kind of wish there was. It's a moment where it's like I wish there was more time in this movie because I would have liked to see like Jesse and the Bill's kind of like friendship too, because like he, spoilers for the movie, but if you're watching this you already know, he flies and ends up crashing the Corsair and dying. And like one of the things I wanted was like I just wish I could have seen like more of their kind of friendship too, because it obviously affects Jesse. I obviously get like I know that he's close to that character, and I can get that from Jonathan Major's performance. I just wish I could have seen it a little more. Um, and it's like one of the things they warn you about those Corsairs, man. Don't throttle up on them because they have too much torque and you'll flip over, and that's exactly what happens during the course of the movie for that character.
I mean, shit. When he's talking to his wife in the movie, he's like, "This is gonna be the death of me, man."
Another thing is like there's not like a lot of Korean War movies, like the at least that I know of off the top of my head. So it's kind of cool to see a movie take place during this time period because it's it's in a fairly unique time period, right? It's just not long after World War II has ended, really, if you think about it and look at the timeline. Like not that long after that.
a lot of movies are like World War II or World War One or fucking Vietnam or whatever, right? So yeah, it was cool having this one be like where it's set because yeah, you're right. We don't get a lot of movies in this kind of particular time frame. That's for sure.
The only two things that I can think of now when I think of like media that takes place during that time will be this film and MASH, right? Because MASH takes place during the Korean War, which is both a movie and a television series. And I've seen both of them. So yeah, it is kind of cool that we kind of explore that time period. It's cool to hear Tom being like, "Yeah, I enlisted right after Pearl Harbor. I graduated, just like right before the war ended, or right at the war ended, or something like that." During the course of the movie, and I was like, "That's right. This takes place." I never really think about it, but it takes place so close after the end of the Second World War. Also, really cool minor thing. We get to see the little bubble helicopters from the fucking Korean War. Like, if you've never seen those things, they're crazy looking. We see them a couple times in the movie. Just those early helicopters that they look so dangerous to ride in and to fly. I'd be terrified to be in one of those things. What else can we talk about here? One of the things that Jesse does is he keeps a book of all the hateful and mean things people have said to him over the years, and I just think that is like, he's like, I've done it since I was a kid, and I was like, man, that is so powerful to just, every time somebody says something mean or hateful or racist to you, you just write it down in a book and remember it like forever. Like, God. And he uses that to motivate himself throughout the movie.
Yeah, I mean, there's moments of him kind of like talking to himself and saying stuff that, is derogatory and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like doing it to kind of, amp himself up or, get him into the mindset of what he's about to do. So,
Mm-hmm.
it's crazy, but hey, man, that's how it is sometimes.
I really like the conversation. I think he has it with Tom. I think it's I don't know how, it's over halfway into the movie and he's talking about the Corsair and flying it because it's built up in such a way that you can't see when you go in to land the plane, right? And it's like, Tom's like, you got to rely on your spotter, and it's like the guy on the plane telling you, the guy on the ship telling you like the directions of how to land, and like he's like, well, I can't. It's like, how do I know he's not going to put me into the river because of all the discrimination that he's faced in the past, right? Like, how am I supposed to trust that guy? Like, when people said I can't, like my commanding officer refused to pin the wings on me at graduation or whatever for to be a pilot, right? And it's like, man, I couldn't imagine like not being able to like trust your spotter to land you on the plane and not kill you, like. So he's always relied on himself, like. They talk about how he's in the other planes, like that they can land those easy because you can see over it. But the Corsair planes that they learn to fly throughout the movie, they're so big, so you can't see the land. So you have to look at your spotter, and that's why he has a hard time landing them on the ship. But I found that, like, man, imagine you're in the military and just having to fucking deal with the assholes all the time, and it's like you can't even trust this guy to get you on the fucking ship. Like, it's fucking nuts, dude. What about you, DT? Any other moments during the course of the film that kind of stood out to you?
Yeah, well, there's one like towards the end, like it's right before, it's like a little before Jesse goes down, when he like takes out the bridge, he's just going in, and or even before that, like when they're all charging in, and they're about to like flatten out the airfield and whatnot with the AA guns and everything. Like
Yeah.
that whole like just I love seeing that stuff, man. When them just flying in their planes and being like, all right, you guys go do this, and we're gonna go take out this dude that when the
fucking MiG.
when the
Imagine
MiG shows up.
Imagine that. A MiG shows up, a jet fighter, and you're in this fucking thing that has a propeller on the front of it, right? Like you are fucking out technology wise, you're outclassed, but you're working together so you can take him, right? Like, it's crazy. I was like,
Yeah.
if it was me in that fucking Corsair, I'd be fucking terrified if a MiG showed up. Because I don't think I couldn't take that out, not by myself. But that's why you got a wingman.
That's what you got. That's why you got your boys with you. Yeah, but that was cool, man. They're like, oh shit, the MiG. You guys stay on the airfield and the AA guns, and we're gonna go. Jesse and I are gonna go take this dude out. That was a really cool moment of like, yes, hell yeah. And then like, going back to what I was saying earlier is when Jesse goes to take down the bridge, after
Mhm.
he tells him not to do it and all that, and it's just a really like yeah, it's just a badass moment, man. Like good shit. Type of moments you love seeing, and it was it's good stuff, man. It's good stuff. Especially knowing what's gonna happen, right? Like
Mhm.
in a bit or later after that. Because like going into this, I already knew like certain real life stuff. Like I knew about Jesse and that he went down on his plane and all that. So you're kind of just like shit. When is it gonna happen?
I didn't know any of that. I hadn't looked into it at all. I just knew it was based on a true story.
Yeah, I did know that. I didn't know like a lot of it, but I knew like certain things, and that was one. Like I knew Jesse didn't make it out,
Mhm.
But there was other stuff later on that they talk about, like towards the end, like towards the credits, that I was like, what? But yeah, that was one of the things I knew. But yeah, it was just cool seeing like the heroic moments like that, and then just you know after that happens, and like his wife gets like the letter and all that, and you're like, damn, that's. And then like you hear Jonathan Majors' voiceover as like she's reading it or like she's looking over it, You're like, shit, man, this guy's good.
Mhm.
Cause yeah, he's got he brings the right type of like emotion to his performance that is like great, you know, and like so good for what is happening on screen at the time. So yeah, he's good, man. Good stuff.
There's a moment where they're like sitting on the bunks in the ship, and I think they have tank tops on, and like Jonathan Majors like reaches back to turn off a light, and his arm flex, and I was like, that dude is huge. He's jacked. I knew he was jacked, but I was like, man, when you see somebody in the movie like that, because this movie isn't like they're not like shirts off a lot of the time, right? It's just like, but you see him move back his arms, and his bicep is like bigger than my fucking head. And I was like, that dude's fucking jacked, dude. Huge. So like, can't wait to see him as Kang and shit later on too.
Yeah, man. We were watching that Ant-Man trailer earlier, dude. It's gonna be crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I'm excited for that. But yeah, it
It's
was
gonna be
good seeing him in something like this because here he's a hero, and in
mm-hmm.
something like that he's gonna be like the villain character. So you're like, damn, it's just acting is cool, man. How you can go from one thing to another like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's awesome. It's really cool.
It's cool for me to get to see him in things because I didn't watch Lovecraft Country, so I hadn't really seen him a whole lot before Loki, because he's in Loki, and then it's like, yeah, this dude's gonna be like Kang. It's like, okay, I don't know him. And then you see him in Loki, and it's like, well, this guy's kind of a goofy, weird character in this. But that's kind of like the idea of it, right? But he acts great in it. So it's cool for me to get to see him in other things before. And that the dude is gonna be in fucking everything in the future. Like he is like, I think we a few shows ago, some director, I don't remember which one, Marty Scorsese probably, or one of those guys was like, there's no big major movie stars anymore. I disagree because I think Jonathan Majors is going to be one of those big, massive, super movie stars going forward.
I mean, he's like definitely one of those dudes that's like in everything. Like, he's gonna be in Creed 3 also. So like that's not
exactly.
he's just showing up in like everything, man. And like I'm sure at some point or another he's gonna be in the Star Wars thing too, man. Like he's in just so much stuff now, or he's he's gonna be in so much stuff now that it's crazy, you know. But he deserves it though, because he's really
Yeah.
good, man.
Yeah, he's great.
And going back to what you were saying about Lovecraft Country, I watched like some of it, but I didn't watch all of it. And even then, I knew that on that show he was really good too.
Mm-hmm.
Like everything I've seen him in, which is not a lot, but like I've seen him in like more than a few things now, and he's really good, like in everything I've seen him in. So he's not one of those dudes that phones in. He always goes like from what I've seen, 110% every time, man. And you know, so it's what you want, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's cool to see somebody who likes what they do enough to go all in like that. So
Yeah.
it's great.
He's fantastic. And I look forward to seeing him in a lot more things. So it's kind of cool to get to see him in this movie as well. The same kind of goes for Glenn Powell because like I haven't really seen him in a lot of stuff. Saw him in Top Gun Maverick, and then got to see him in this. He's going to be in a lot of things going forward as well, I'm sure. Like they were both just great. Yeah, so get back to the movie, like Jesse gets shot down, right? And like the thing that got me was I was like, this can't be real. They just threw this in the movie, was like Tom Hudner crashing his fucking plane to help him out of his plane. I was like,
Yeah.
there's no way that's real. There's no way that actually happened. I was wrong. That actually happened. He actually crashed his plane to try to help Jesse get out of his at the end of that movie. And I was like, I was blown away. I was like, you know, because sometimes in movies they'll add shit to add drama
Yeah.
and stuff to it, and like my
Yeah,
brain
yeah.
immediately just went, "There's no way this is real." But it is, and that was just like, yeah. How about you, DT? What was the things that were kind of like you didn't that kind of surprised you with the credits you were saying?
So the thing that surprised me was like once we got to the credits and they're like talking about like the real life stuff of like, oh, you know, their grandchildren are like, you know, friends or you know,
Yeah,
you know, but like thing of like they've been trying to bring him back from North Korea still,
yeah, the
like to
remains.
this day. I'm like, I'm like still he's still not back. That to me was like, man, I like what? Like they're still trying to bring him back, man. That is insane. Because I thought surely they would have brought him back by now, you know, like years ago or whenever, but they still haven't brought him back. They still haven't brought him back. That's fucking nuts, dude. Fucking North Korea, man.
So
So
weird
that's kind of
and fascinating.
that's what like was like what? Yeah, I man, that's the one thing that I was like that kind of like caught me off guard. Because you know you see some of that stuff and you're like usually they're like oh and when they tell you all the real life stuff that happened they're like such and such happened this year and then this happened this time and then you know they were able to you know I was expecting to be like they recovered his remains and you know whatever year and then like they're still trying to bring him back to this day and I'm like what the fuck that is like I know it's North Korea but like come on man like I figured surely at some point in the past you know I don't know when at some point whenever they would have been allowed or they would have had the opportunity or chance or to bring him back. Like I don't I don't remember exactly what it said or why they haven't been able to bring him back, but I kind of want to look into that now because like that again, that is just insane to me that they have not been able to bring him back after all these years. Like what year was it exactly? I know we're talking Korean War, but we're like what how long has it been exactly?
Yeah, I want to say it was like 1950, 51, maybe. I think. Let me look. 1950. He died December 4th, 1950. He was only 24 years old, by the way.
24?
Yeah.
Golly.
He was a young
Oh,
dude.
he was a really young dude. I didn't know he was that
He
young.
was younger than us.
This dude was definitely younger than us. What the fuck? Wow. Jeez.
Flying planes and shit, blowing up bridges, shooting down
Being a
MiGs.
badass.
Yeah, so I didn't know that he passed away. So during the movie, I was like, they're gonna get him out of this plane, right? That's how this movie ends, right? They're like he's gonna. No, he passes away in that plane, man. I was like, oh man. I was like, I didn't realize this. I didn't know this is how this story ended. It ends on a bummer, pretty big bummer.
No, that's off in real life, man. A
Yeah.
series of bummers.
Mm-hmm. So often, like as you do with those types of movies, I go look shit up after we were done, and like or after I was done watching it, and I was like, man. Imagine you have a friend that cares so much about you, he intentionally crashes his fucking plane to try to help you. That is insane. That's why, like, it is so unbelievable to me that I thought they put it into the fucking movie for drama. No, that really happened. Like, that is crazy. Overall, good movie. I enjoyed my time with it. Recommend it to most folks. And yeah, check it out, guys. I don't really have a whole lot more to say on it. DT, how about you? You got anything else you want to?
I do.
Talk about?
I was looking up the search stuff because we were just talking about it.
I
And
got
I
you.
saw that the movie has helped renew the search for Jesse. So they're kind of going back or trying to go back and find him again. And I see here that Fred Smith, the founder of Memphis-based FedEx, who financed the film, was determined to try to bring Jesse home and bring him to the Arlington National Cemetery next to his wingman Tom Hudner, because Tom Hudner also passed away in real life several years back in 2017. So yeah, they're trying to you know get the search going again. To me it's just like where do you even like look? Like where do you even like how do you start the process of like going to go find somebody's remains after like, you know, he's been there since 1950. Like that's a
I have no
long
idea.
time, man. Like do they have like an idea of where to look? Like where do you
I
how do
imagine
you
I
don't
imagine based on records, right? Like probably radio transmissions, the locations of things. You could probably get like a rough estimate, I'd imagine, but probably not like something exact. Like because they were like, hey, we flew to this battle, did some cover here. We were on our way back. We went this so many miles this direction, and we noticed smoke in this direction at this many miles. So, like they keep track of a lot of that stuff, I imagine. And it's not all going to be 100% accurate because let's be real, it's the fucking 50s. But I imagine you could get like a rough idea, I would feel like. I think the biggest, hardest part of that would be like, well, the first part is we got to go into North Korea, right? We'll probably have to have helicopters. The North Koreans aren't going to like that. It's going to be that's probably what the whole hardest part of it is. It's like just dealing with the North Koreans, right?
Yeah.
Like, and it's crazy. And then on top of that, you have to deal with like, here's like 60, 70, 80 years of wear and tear and nature and everything kind of growing.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like how do you even like, man, you gotta know where to be, or where to look, and then once you've like kind of are in the area, like how can you tell that's even gonna be like,
I have
man,
no idea.
I don't know, that type of stuff to me is like interesting, but because of like how do they know, you know? But
Uh, I don't know,
I mean,
man.
hopefully someday they can bring him back, man, because
Give us that
it's
doc.
it's it's long overdue, man. Long overdue, man.
I'd watch that
From 19
documentary.
from 1950 to now, that is that is way too much time, man.
Hmm. Yeah,
It's over 70 years ago, dude. That's a lifetime. That's people's lifetimes, man. So you gotta, hopefully someday though they can bring him back. But yeah, no, that I just wanted to bring that up real quick because I was like very curious about it, and I was like, you know, how are they doing with that? 'Cause- or I was like wondering if anything had happened since the movie had come out, or anything like that. So yeah, solid movie though. Like Josh was saying, I thought it was good. Acting performances were solid. Um, Story and all that, obviously based off of real life. So even if there's things that you may think are made for the movie, some of it might be real.
yeah,
Um, but yeah, that's a movie that I think we've both had been wanting to check out.
yeah.
So it's cool that we finally got a chance to check it out.
I think we watched the trailer for it on the podcast,
We did. We
like
watched
when
like
it
two
first
trailers, I
dropped.
think.
And it was
Yeah.
like, man, that movie looks cool. Let's check that. Want to check that out, you know? And now we finally did. Talk about it on the show.
Yeah, so it was cool finally checking that out. But yeah, I think I guess that'll
All right.
do it, huh?
Yeah, that's gonna do it, I believe, guys, for this for this episode of the Clockwork Cantina. It's gonna be a little bit of a shorter episodes, but that's how it's gonna be in the early part of the year. A lot of movies and television things will probably be on the docket for at least a little bit extra. Comics as well are coming up. Some comic stuff I think we'll be checking out. But first off, we're gonna go ahead and wrap up the show. I'm gonna throw it over to DT, guys. Make sure to also stick around because we're gonna rate our friend Val when we're done. So, DT, you are up first.
Alrighty. Had to sneeze real quick, but thank you guys for watching, for listening. However you choose to indulge us on our podcast here. We appreciate you guys hanging out, and as always, um, yeah, good stuff. I'm gonna be next week. We're gonna be covering the. We're going to read some comics again. So
Yeah.
as we have in the past, we've been reading some comics on stuff that's been coming up, and this week or next week rather, we're gonna be reading the comics for Marvel's Secret Invasion, which is something that we've been trying to get to for a while now. We'll be reading that, and we'll cover it next week. Um, yeah, that'll be interesting, considering that the show is coming out later this year as well. And then the other thing is coming up for me in the in my own stream. I'm gonna be continuing Assassin's Creed Rogue, as we talked about during the news portion earlier today. There's a lot, some Assassin's Creed stuff going on, and I'm currently playing through the game, trying to catch up with it. So that's something I want to do for sure. Um, yeah, so I'm gonna try to get on that. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm gonna be reacting to the Mandalorian trailer today, so keep an eye out. That'll be up on the YouTube as soon as it can. And then yeah, I guess that'll do it. We'll see you guys next week. Uh Stay tuned for everything else going on. Follow me on all the things you see on the sidebar here, and we'll see you next week. So thanks for watching or listening, or we'll see you guys next time. Bye bye and peace out.
Hey guys, thank you for checking out the show. I appreciate everybody that always checks out the show. Make sure to check out all the things on the side here. I am a dice maker. I'm Josh 902. I'm a dice maker. I own and operate 902 Dice Creations on Instagram, Etsy, TikTok, all those cool places. So make sure to check that out. Coming up on the channel, I want to stream some games real soon. I might try next week. I need to knock some things out. So maybe we'll stream those things. Keep an eye. I also want to do some tabletop things. Hopefully starting soon on the channel. I'll get you guys more info on that as we get this started up. Appreciate my co-host as usual, DT3, one of my best friends, and I get to do this show with him. We've done 145 fucking episodes of this show together. And I look forward to doing another 145 and then another 145, and we'll go on as long as we want to. So yeah, thanks everybody for checking out the show. That's gonna do it for today. I'm gonna raid our good friend Val _ Valhalla. So make sure to stick around for that, and we will see you all next time. Bye bye, everybody.